Hey guys, it's Gus, and if you've been playing Neverwinter any amount of time, you've probably bought armor reinforcement kits from the auction house. And they're pretty important to our builds. We can have 8 of them. 4 on your armors and 4 on your rings, neck, and belt. And all 8 of them, if they're plus ones, will give you 352 item level, which really isn't a lot of item level, but what they really give you that's more important than that is 7,040 ratings. They let us maximize our builds for a relatively low amount of cost. But there's one armor reinforcement kit in particular that is not cheap, and that is the accuracy reinforcement kit. And these, I just got a price check on PC, slightly higher on a PC, and I think Xbox as well. And there's a reason why these cost so much more than the other ones. So if we do like power, most of them are between like 30 and 40K. So power, the major one, 38,000. Combat advantage is pretty low. This is one of the lower ones usually. Let's get to major, 33,000. But the reason why the prices really don't go lower is because there's a fixed cost to make these. And the reason why the accuracy one is so high is two reasons. And I'm going to talk about this quite a bit in detail. So bear with me as I bore you to death. So this 75K is actually pretty low. That's probably because we're mid mod. The dull time, the downtime where there's nothing to do in the game. If you didn't know, the downtime when there's nothing to do in the game is now called the interlude. They have an official name for when there's nothing to do. Nothing to do. Pardon my head cold. So we've been in an interlude for a month or two now, and we don't know how long we're going to be in a interlude for where we're not doing anything. So during this time, a lot of these kits go down in price because there's probably just not as many players min-maxing their builds right now. But when the new mods come and people start getting new gears, they usually start buying these up. Um, so first, we're going to go to our artisans, right? When you go make these, well, let me backtrack one sec. When you go make a power, uh, any of these armor reinforcement kits, they all cost the same amount. You can right here or go to left. They all have a commission of 125,080 to make. I believe all of them have a commission of 125,000. Any of the majors. So another one would be Critical Strike, right? Let's check out Critical Strike. I believe they're all 125,000. That's greater. Major 125,000. So they're basically all 125,000. That's the base cost that you need to make it. That's not including the cost of failure. That's not including the cost of all the gold it takes to put this all together using all these reagents. And accuracy as well is 125,000. And you're probably thinking, well, why does it cost more than twice as much as any of the other ones? And that's what I'm gonna go over. See, 125,000. All right. So we have artisans who can craft this stuff for us, and there's all the artisans have different abilities. So they all have a profession cost multiplier. Like Adloquium, she lowers the commission of anything she makes by 75%. So if I was going to make something that costs 125,000 and multiply that, reduce that 75% commission, that commission would drop to 31,250. So instead of it being 125,000, it's only 31,250. And before I keep going, let me just show you. So we're gonna take, uh, well, not accuracy. That's not accuracy. We'll go combat advantage. And as you can see, it's 125,000 commission, right? But let's put an artisan in there with a minus 75% commission. And now you see that goes down to 31,250. That's how those are selling so low. So every profession, I believe, for crafting armor reinforcement kits has a minus 75% commission, except for one, and that's artificing. And the crazy thing about artificing is the best one that I believe exists is minus 50% commission. And that commission can actually go down lower than 75%. So let me backtrack for 1 second. Remember how the Combat Advantage Halley took the commission down from 125,000 to 31,000? He also has a 20% chance of negating the commission cost. So you're going to pay that 31K every single time, but one out of 5 times, it won't charge that 31,000. So really it brings it down from 31,000. Was it 31,500? I think it was 31,500 times 0.8. So if you're crafting, let's say hundreds of these over the course, the 20% minus commission negation is going to come out. So it really lowers your overall cost when you're mass producing these. And that's if you have passion project. The deal with artificing is, let me find artificing, is there's only a couple artificers that have a minus commission. The minus 50% commission, there's only one that has it, and that's this guy, Brodun Comawn. I don't even want to try to pronounce it. So right off the bat, 125,000 times 0.5 is, no matter what, it's going to cost me 62,500 AD to make this accuracy reinforcement kit. And that's not including the cost of materials. Okay, now we talked about passion project. He does not have passion project, so that will not lower the cost. And you're thinking, why don't you just get a minus 25% commission that has a 25% passion project? There isn't one. The only minus 25% commission with a passion project has a 10% chance of passion project. So if you do hundreds of these, there's no way that that cost is going to be lower than this minus 50% commission. So if you want to make accuracy reinforcement kits, this is your guy. This is your only guy. This beautifully freckled unsung hero of Neverwinter that everybody uses, but they have no idea he's doing all the legwork in the background. This guy is used very often in Neverwinter, and nobody knows it. And people are like, well, I just don't use accuracy reinforcement kits. Okay, wait till you start min-maxing. It's going to be really hard not to. So I said the cost is one of the reasons why the accuracy reinforcement kit is so expensive. And it's 62,500, and the one that was being sold in the auction house, I believe, was 75,000. Now remember, that player, if you buy it, is not getting 75,554. 75,554. That auction house is taking 10% of the auction house fees. So the player who's selling it is getting 67,988 AD, which is very little. And I'm going to show you what their profit margin is. So accuracy. So if you buy the lowest price one in the auction house right now and buy it from this player, let me put in this guy, equals minus 62,580. The player is going to make 5,498.680. So basically 5,080, which seems like a lot of AD if they sell hundreds of these. I don't think they're selling hundreds of these, but they're not, because this is a huge pain in the ass to craft. This is almost like a master crafting item. I'm going to show you how big of a pain in the ass it is. But bottom line up front, you need 12 artisans and 11 gatherers at once working together to make one of these. So yeah, you need 4 workshops unless you wanted to cancel the orders every other day and then craft and then do that for 2 days, craft for 2 days, cancel all those orders, and then craft another set. You need 4 workshops to make this thing efficiently. because you don't want to be canceling all your orders midway through. Um, so first you need an Aureus index. Pardon if I mispronounced the name. We just don't go gather an Aureus index. What you got to do is you got to craft it. And you need this in order to make it. So we got the Aureus index, and it requires a fine parchment, black ink, and gold sand. Well, how do you get fine parchment? Well, you got to craft fine parchment with oak lumber, walnut lumber, and flax. But you don't go gather oak lumber and walnut lumber. You have to craft those. So to make oak lumber, you have to craft it after you gather oak logs. So you have to gather oak logs. You have to gather walnut logs to make the oak lumber and lumber. And the other item, flax, that you needed for the fine parchment, you can gather as well. And you also needed to have black ink. Well, check this out. Black ink requires iron sand, linseed oil, and fish glue. Well, guess what? You just don't gather linseed oil. You got to craft that too. How do you do that? Well, you go craft it you need flax. You need to gather flax with your gatherer and then use that to make linseed oil. And then you also needed fish glue. So you craft you craft fish glue after you gather fish bones. So just to make Orus Index, you need to have gatherers getting iron sand, flax, fish bones, walnut logs, oak logs, and you need artisans making fine parchment, oak lumber, walnut lumber, black ink, linseed oil, and fish glue. You can gather the gold sand. But we're not done yet. That's just to make one. it's so it's so crazy. And to make the accuracy, you also needed the oh poop, I went up too much and it puts you all the way down at the top. So you also need shimmer weave cloth and shimmer weave thread. What's that take? Shimmer weave cloth. In order to craft that, you need shimmer weave thread. Well, if you want shimmer weave thread, you got to craft that. First, you got to gather shimmer weed, though. So your gatherer has to be gathering shimmer weed, and artisan's going to be crafting shimmer weave thread, and then the artisan's going to be using that shimmer weave thread to craft shimmer weave cloth. It's absurd. We're not done yet, though. You also need. Oh man, you gotta go all the way down. Such a pain. You also need to be crafted potions of accuracy. Well, how do you get those? Well, I don't have to go. You can go right here. To get this, you need gatherers gathering sugar beet, wild mint, and volcanic salt. But fish oil you do not gather. You have to craft it. In order to do that, you have to have river trout. So you have to have a gatherer gathering river trout, and then an artisan making fish oil. And you also have to have a gatherer getting volcanic salt, wild mint, and sugar beet. So to make this accuracy reinforcement kit, just one, you need to have 12 artisans, one making major accuracy, the armor reinforcement kit itself, the Aureus Index, the fine parchment, the oak lumber, the walnut lumber, the black ink, the linseed oil, the fish glue, the shimmer weave cloth, the shimmer weave thread, and the crafted potion of accuracy. Oh, and the fish oil. And then you need gatherers making flax, oak logs, walnut logs, iron sand, fish bones, gold sand, shimmer weed, sugar beet, wild mint, volcanic salt, river trout. So 4 workshops working at max capacity. You need 4 tools. You need 4 artisans. They all need to be ranked up, and you need gold for every step of this process. And I was adding up all the gold in my mind. I had this huge spreadsheet. It's absurd. I don't want to go into that much detail because I'm not going to be able to finish it. So for that player who's selling these accuracy reinforcement kits for a whopping profit of 5,000 AD, has 23 artisans and gatherers spending gold every single second to make these. I don't think they're making shit worth of profit because I'm using my workshops to make way more AD than that, I think. So these players are doing us a huge favor, in my opinion, and I do not know any of you. Well, I don't think I do. I probably do. The game's a big game. I just don't recall your names. But there's only a few players going through all this hassle and selling them. So thank you guys. Woo! You're doing God's work because I can't even imagine trying to make these myself. Shit, I might just do that for a video. Just dedicate 4 workshops to go around the clock. I don't even know if I want to. It sounds like such a pain in the ass. Well, there you go. The major accuracy armor reinforcement kit +1. What a horrible way to make AD. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.